and we got a show for you today. And we are live. Welcome to Financial Freedom. Crypto Excel here as we embark on our journey. Bitcoin is at 34,400. What a day, what a time to be alive. Enjoy the show.
Drop port anchor. What?
Control chaos.
Drop it now. We are gonna die.
Fear Greed Index currently in the 70s. The weather outside is going to be warm and sunny in the 70s.
I'm gonna die. We're all gonna die.
As we warm up.
It's not today.
Original big one. Got some alpha for you today.
Let's drop some lead on those motherfuckers.
About a coin. Another 100x now, you know. This coin more than 100x since I first spotted. So I'm already in over 100x profit on it. But I'm going to bring it to you now because, so when I said I'm 100% off on it, more than 100%, but this is a potential 100x coin. From this point out, it's a 100x coin. Do remember also that this is not financial advice. This is not financial advice. Excuse me. Get a little bit excited. I guess I should start the show, right? This is not financial advice. Crypto is very, very risky. You can lose everything that you invest with, right? So if it were me, I would not put significant amount of money that I need to live into crypto. Because I've seen projects such as Terra Luna that were really, really good projects with strong fundamentals. I've seen them fail. Anything can happen in crypto. The project could be hacked. There could be rug pulls where the founders run away with all your money by printing up excess amount of coins that they're not supposed to be able to do. But I've seen it done many, many times. And 9 out of 10 businesses fail. Cryptos are all kind of like businesses, so 9 out of 10 of them fail, right? So that all being said, make sure you take financial responsibility for what you're doing, and you make sure you're on top of these things. And again, you have to handle your money. I'm not a financial advisor. That all being said, welcome to the show. This is Crypto Excel, Financial Freedom. I'm excited about the coin I'm going to bring you today. I'm going to be mentioning a few. But today I'm going to be talking about GAFI. That's GameFi, and why this is the next big thing. Right? So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, GameFi is a Launchpad project. There are many Launchpad projects, and during a bear market, these tend to go down 99%. It's down 99.22%. So the all-time high was $351, and that was back in the height of the bull run. So that was November 2021. So the market cap at that time was 317 million. Current market cap. I need to turn on the music a little bit. I just like music in the background. So the current market cap is 23 million. Fully diluted market cap, it's 41 million. The reason I think that this is a play is numerous reasons. Number one, if you look at the date here of its all-time high, this was towards the end of the 2021 bull market where Bitcoin was at its peak. So Bitcoin peaked at 69,000 in November of 2021, and this is when this peaked with in market cap of 310 million. Right, so from fully diluted, that's around a 10x. From current market cap, that's around a 15x or so. I'm under the belief that since GAFI didn't have a full bull run, meaning that it did not experience Bitcoin's April high of around 65,000, that it did not see its full price potential, its full price discovery. So the difference between the discrepancy of the market cap and the price has to do with the amount of coins that were out, right? Because if you look at a price of $2.78 versus a price of over $300, this is $315 here, it says that its high was $351. So $351 versus less than $3, that's over 100x. The difference between this price and the market cap discrepancy, the price discrepancy is over 100x. The price discrepancy is over 100x. The market cap discrepancy is like a 15x. Those big differences are due to the fact that there are more coins in circulation now, right? So if you look at the circulating supply versus how much supply they could print, you see that it's about a 2x, right? So current market cap of 23 million versus a fully diluted market cap of 41 million means that it's 55% of the supply is out. So which means that dilution during the bull market is not going to be a problem with this project. But you don't want to get just any project just because the dilution isn't bad. You want to get a project that's going to run. The reason why this one's going to run is because they're a Launchpad, right? They're a Launchpad project. They've been around for a long time, and they've produced fruitful multipliers. In a bull run, the average all-time high return on this Launchpad was 34.40, somewhere around there. Let me look up crypto rank. Okay. So if you look up GAFI under Launchpads, and I go look up GAFI GameFi, I see here that they've been releasing new projects. They've been releasing IDOs in the bear market and in a crypto altcoin bear market, and the returns on these altcoins are so. It's kind of lackluster. But that's why there's a price suppression. You know, this thing went from $350 down to $2.70 something cents. Actually went lower than that. It went all the way down to $1.30, and that's when I jumped in. I jumped in there like Batman when I saw that price, right? So the price went down to $1.30, and then I showed up and I scooped up a few. If you were a Patreon back then, you would have been scooping up a few also, because now there's tremendous profits from that point. So that's more than a 2x. So from 130 to 270, it went up to 280 recently, and it's going to keep on climbing. If you look at this is a steep incline, right? So my projection is that this thing is going to continue to keep climbing, and the closest resistance we have, right, it was at a resistance of 280. It's going to break through this, and then I think the next one we have to worry about, you have 390, then you have 460, you have around 470, right around there. I would be DCAing at this point. At this price, it's also, I consider this a good price to DCA. There could be a possible pullback if Bitcoin manages to to pull back now, because Bitcoin has resistance at 34,500, right? So, and we're pretty close to it. We're at 34,400. So if we hit 34,500, we could bounce back down to 34. It's just been ranging up and down like a tennis ball. It could break that and come down to 33, and then you get a pullback on GAFI. But what kind of pullback are we talking about? We're talking about a small pullback. We're not talking about a significant pullback. So you are taking a chance if you're waiting on that. Taking a big risk, because Bitcoin could blow through here, and once it goes through here, that's 37,000. The next where's the next resistance? It's 37,500. 37,500 is the next resistance. So this is what I'm looking at. Again, crypto is extremely risky. I'm just talking about things that I'm doing, what I'm interested in doing. You decide what you want to do with your money and with your time and your energy, because this is high risk what I'm doing right here, very high risk, right? So if I'm talking about something that has a potential of doing 100x plus more, of course there's going to be risk. There's not going to be a 100x opportunity without a possibility of losing your investment, right? And I'm willing to take that risk. What you decide to do is up to you. But do understand that this is definitely high risk, because I'm talking about a Launchpad. And the Launchpad is dependent on A, bull market, and B, good projects. Now that I mentioned good projects, let's get onto that, right? So if you look at the projects on this Launchpad, recently they've just listed 6 new projects, right? And Clubcoin just passed. That was their latest project. So Plexus is the next one is coming out November 16th. Then there's a Phantom, then there's Lakey AI, and then there's Accent AI and Evermoon, and then there's another one here, Codify. If you notice, out of the group I just mentioned, there's 2 AI projects, right? And so because AI was a trend, early January, a lot of AI projects went completely crazy. Some of them went 20x, and AI became a narrative. Viat went 50x in the first quarter of 2023. So AI is definitely a thing. So they're very smart to be focusing on AI projects, and they're also focused on gaming projects, because that's also a big thing. They're also focused on some layer 1s. And so it seems to me that they're paying attention to what's happening in the market. The second part of my analysis is noticing that they're choosing to put these projects up now. They didn't put these projects up in the depths of the bear market, especially the depths of the altcoin bear market, which we're still in to some extent. So there's still a possibility, based on the 4-year cycle, the charts from the prior bull markets, that altcoins take another huge hit. When I say huge hit, we're talking about like a 40% retracement from current levels in comparison to Bitcoin. So if you notice, the Bitcoin dominance is going up. It's way up, right? It's currently at 54%. And if things happen like they've happened in the past, we expect this to start heading up to 75%. So we expect Bitcoin's dominance to continue to rage. So what that means basically is that most of the money coming into crypto would be going into Bitcoin. So you can have a Bitcoin pump all the way up to all-time highs, from now to next year. Who knows? It depends. Maybe they drop the ETFs earlier than we expect, and Bitcoin heads towards 69,000. And again, I mention these things because anything is possible in crypto. No one has a magic ball that can tell you for sure that Bitcoin's price is going to remain at 42K until April of next year. We don't know that for sure. What if they decide to drop the ETF early because they want to create some kind of shock and awe? They want to do something that you don't expect when you don't expect it. And that's how the market works. It's player versus player, right? So they're not going to do what you expect them to do when you expect them to do it. So these are all possibilities. They could end up dropping it, by the end of October, and then you have an ETF come out and the price skyrockets, and then at that point you're like, oh my gosh, let me rush in to get a position. But by the time you start doing that, your DCA points are going to be higher now. Your cost is going to be higher. So what am I looking at here? So yeah, like all the other YouTubers, it could go up, it could go down in a nutshell, but at least you know some points of contention, support, resistance. And yeah, pay attention to this Bitcoin dominance, right? Bitcoin is at 54%, so I think it's smart to have a little bit of Bitcoin in the portfolio as a safety net. And I look at Bitcoin, when I'm looking at safety, I'm looking at Bitcoin primarily over the big blue chips. I like Bitcoin over the blue chips because the blue chips have a higher risk, whereas Bitcoin acts like an altcoin at this point in the cycle. So going back to GameFi and how that relates to GameFi. Well, and what is GameFi exactly? Let's go over GameFi. GameFi is a crypto launchpad, and they have many projects that are coming out in the bear market. But the reason why you get this is not for the bear market. You would lather in now for the bull market. They have. Oh, I think there's something I should mention that U.S. residents are restricted from participating in the IDOs from GameFi. However, that all being said, you can still participate in the price appreciation of the GameFi token. So if we currently look at the price analysis, it's $2.78. High was $351, and there was less tokens distributed. But I also mentioned that it came out towards the end of the prior bear market, right? So you have two factors. One factor that suppresses the price. What suppresses the price is that they had less tokens in circulation at that point, right? But what boosts the price is that this came out towards the end of the prior bear market. That means if it came out in the beginning, the price might have been higher. So this is still possibly a 100x gem. If you look at the current market cap, it's 23 million, right? So 100x here would push this into a 2 billion market cap, which is quite high for a crypto launchpad. That all being said, though, this is a gaming crypto launchpad that's focused on the narratives that's going to be propelling the next bull run. So I do think this is a good play. And if you do live outside of the US, it's an excellent play as far as being part of a launchpad and participating in the launches, right? So there's 4 different tiers in GameFi. There is 5 different tiers, but let's talk about that. They're showing you 5 here, but in the Telegram I heard about a 6th tier. Right now the 4th tier is called Pro, but they're going to have another tier called Pro Max. Pro Max, you would achieve that through getting GAFI points, and you get GAFI points by staking. Let's say 500 GAFI for a certain amount of time. The more GAFI you have, it's a multiplier system. So the more GAFI you have times, they multiply it by a point system like 0.5 times the amount of days you have at stake. That'll give you your GAFI points. And the idea is for you to get a total of 1,200 or more GAFI points. Because once you have 1,200 GAFI points, you're now going to be in not the Pro level, you'll be in the Pro Max level. And the Pro Max level gives you a guaranteed allocation. So one of the biggest drawbacks of this project was in the past, there was no guaranteed allocation unless you were a legend. But to get into the legend pool, you would have to be one of the top 12 holders. So if you have tens of thousands of people who are holding this token and only the top 12 are going to have guaranteed stake, that's almost like saying no one's getting guaranteed stake, right? It's the same. It's almost the same thing, right? So I think they were wise to revise the system and say, like, if you have 1,200 GAFI points, which means that I'll give you an example of how you can the least expensive way to get the 1,200 GAFI points for a new investor would be to obtain 700 GAFI, which at today's price, the price is reasonably high. Again, this is booming, and I want to tell you that you're catching this at the start of the boom, right? And this is just my opinion, okay? And again, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just using statistical analysis statistical analysis and scientific based assumptions. But again, I'm not Nostradamus. I can't predict the future. But just based on what I'm seeing here, this looks like a change in trend, right? Started here. This is October 11th. It started here, and it's doubled so far. So from October 11th to the 29th, that's about 15 or so days, right? I'm not trying to be exact with my math. I'm being late. Let me be a little bit more exact. But you get the point what I'm saying anyway, right? I need you to get the whole picture. That's more important than being exact, right? So let's say that's 18 days. So in 18 days, the price doubled, right? And if you look at the chart, it's starting to go up and to the right. And you're catching it when it just started, right? The day it started is here, right? But I mean, you would have to be, I just happen to be lucky to catch it, okay? But if you were a Patreon, you would have gotten this buy alert, and you would have caught it too, and you would have been up more than 2x your money. So going from here to the left is the start of a trend reversal, in my opinion. Because if you look at this trend for the yearly trend, you see it's here's a low and there's a high, there's a low, there's a high, and then boom, it breaks it and it starts going down. And if you look at the curve, you see how this is curving. And what did they always say? Rounded curves pay the bills. Yeah, and also if you look at where Bitcoin is in its trend, that's another thing too, right? Bitcoin's in a bull market now. So that should affect the altcoins also. Even though we could have a major pullback in the altcoins, an extreme pullback where it could hurt a lot of them. I think this one, even though this will get hurt, I don't think it's going to get destroyed like the others will. There's a few of them that won't get destroyed, and I think this is one of them. And remember what I'm saying. I'm saying if this, if that, if this. So I'm kind of like saying if there is a black swan event, right? Which you know that a black swan event is an unpredictable event. That's why it's called a black swan event, because it's not predicted. But if you look at the charts, every 4 years, close to this time before the halving, there is a serious dip in the altcoins. And they later attribute that dip that's in the charts to some kind of black swan event, right? So that's why I'm saying there's a possibility of a dip coming up. And if there is a dip, so my plan is accumulate this now, because if this starts going ballistic, I don't want to be like, oh, I should have bought at $3 when it hits $3. I should have bought at $3 and now it's $8 and it's too far gone now. I don't want to do that. I'll rather take my chances where I DCA in now. I just don't DCA into anything. I DCA to fundamentally strong projects at their most vulnerable point where it's way oversold. I'll DCA into that, and just to lock in that price. And if we go lower, I'll DCA some more. I have no problem with it. I'll DCA some more if we go lower, because I know I'm patient enough to wait for 2 years. I can do that. So again, if you look, we're coming from $350. You think I'm worried about $3 when we're coming from $350? What's it? It says $315 here. It's $350 over there. And God forbid you go to another chart, like you go to the actual chart. I bet you it's more than that too. So the thing's 99% down. I don't care about, I don't care as much about, it's 20% up for the 30% down. I'm getting in now. I'm locking in the gains now, and I'm patient enough. I'm going to wait. Second thing is, let me go over the performance of the projects for the stakers that get into the IDOs, right? So I noticed they came out with Clubcoin recently, right? And Clubcoin is also listed on Seedify. So they're getting projects that are listed on Seedify. Seedify is like the number 2 Launchpad, period, right? TrustSwap. Look who their competitors are. This thing is drastically oversold, drastically, right? And they give you 25% on token generation on TGE. That's a token generation event. That means you buy this for 12. You only need this to 4x on launch, which is quite possible to get your initial investment back, right? So 4 times 12 would be 48. So it has to go to 48 cents on launch. Now, if you go back to the projects that are on GAFI, right? These are all projects that came out on GAFI. You look at the return, and remember, we're in the altcoin bear market, right? So this is a bear market in altcoins, meaning that they should be doing horrible, right? That's what a bear market is. So this last one, Cyber Arena did a 4x. This one only did a 1x. I'm talking about all-time high, right? So in TGE, if you get it 25%, you just need a 4x to get your initial investment back. You take out your initial investment and let the rest ride. Let it ride for 2 years. And God knows, and all of a sudden, if you get a project that can do 150x, you'll be getting free crypto. That's what that means. Your crypto will be free. So I'm giving you this alpha. Everything I'm giving you here is free. But remember, my Patreons, if you're a Patreon, you would have gotten in this thing at less than half the price that it is now. But then again, listen to what I said. This thing has a potential of doing ridiculous numbers. I'm looking at 150x possible for this project. 100, it's crazy. That's crazy even saying that. And that's from this point. That's from the point where we are now. All right, but let me continue. So there's a 5x here from HyperGPT. I thought I would have more jokes today. The intro is kind of funny, right? So HyperGPT was a 5x. This was in June. You remember how horrible the market was in June? Like 2x, 5x. These are all-time highs. So now they're like completely crushed, right? If you look at the current return, it's completely crushed. That's why I said you try to get your money out from the initial offering of the first time you get your coins when they're generated. You try to get your initial investment out, right? So, but if you go further back, like this is bear market 2022, here's a 28x, right? Keep going back. January 2022, this is a 70x. Imagine getting a 70x day one from your investment. That's insane, right? So you've got your money back here, and then some, right? Let's say they only give you, let's see what percentage you got back from this one. Initially they gave you, and again, this is a top tier Launchpad. I'm seeing they're competing with Red Kite. DAOmaker is number one, by the way. Gate.io. And DAOmaker is number one. They have the best projects with the most ROI, but you don't get much allocation for the price you're paying. You'd have to pay, like, to get a really good allocation, like $50,000, right? You pay $50,000 and you're not getting that much to put into the projects related to how much you paid for it. You get more of an allocation from something like GameFi, especially now at these prices for GameFi, right? Because if you go back to what I showed you here, for pro level, which is 500 GAFI, your maximum individual allocation is 700, right? So that means that you could get as much as 700, whereas the same amount to get 700. But this is a lottery. You're not guaranteed that. You're only guaranteed if you have if you have like 1,200 GAFI points. But you have a chance of getting 700. Whereas if you use DAOmaker or Seedify, you'd have to put in tens of thousands of dollars to even have a chance to get that amount. Their allocations are guaranteed, but now you have to put in like $30,000, $50,000, right, to get that amount, and it's ridiculous. So if you go back and to the other tiers, if you have 100 GAFI, you have a lottery and you have a chance to get as much as $300 in allocation, and then at rookie level, 20 GAFI, you have a chance of $60 in allocation. Now let's talk about the possibilities here, right? So like, let's say you get a 300, you have 100 GAFI. GAFI is now almost $3. It's actually $2.80. Okay, so let's call it $2.80. That's what it is right now. So 100 of them at $2.80. That goes for why am I not thinking clearly today? Let's use $3. That would be like $300. This $280, right? So $280, and you have a chance of getting 300 allocation. That means if you get a 300 allocation and your project does, let's say you get 300 allocation and you keep on going into these projects, and one of your projects has a 70x in a bull market, So this actually did a 70x in a bear market, but that's when like the middle of the bear market, right? So well, let's say you get a 70x, that's $21,000, right? But they only let you get 15% at token generation, right? So you're only able to sell 15% right away. So $3,000 in a bull market, right? So you have to understand that you only spent you had to get GAFI now, which was around $300, but I'm just going to call it $300. By the time you see this, the thing is going to keep going up and it's going to be $3. I'm calling it $300 because this is my YouTube channel, that's why. So let's say you pay $300 for it, right? And then from the $300 you paid for it, you also had to put $300 in to pay for the allocation, so that's you spend $600. But from the $600 in a bull market now, and this is one project in a bull market. There's going to be many projects. There's going to be like 5 projects every month. Okay, 5 projects a month. So you have the possibility of making that $3,000 right there just from that. That $3,000 paid for your $300 investment now. It paid for the $300 you paid for the allocation for the project, and you also have extra profit left over of over $2,400. You could put that into other projects that come out. So from my perspective, the way I look at it, this is a one-time investment that you invest now for the bull run, and you use it to get free projects, right? Because if the projects I invest in is giving me more than I put in, I could use the profit from the money I made, the extra profit I made, to buy new projects. I just keep on rinsing and repeating. And then when I'm in a surplus, I just put that in my bank account and let the bank just keep growing. And so what it sounds to me, what it is really compound interest if you think about it. It's a way of looking at it is like compound interest. It's a way that you have initial investment up front. You put the money up front, and then at some point it starts becoming profitable once the project starts becoming profitable. And then you use the projects that are profitable to pay for investments in the new projects, which means that you never have to pay money in this thing again. And it just keeps on generating a revenue stream for you. And you can use that revenue stream through the bull market. Maybe you see other investments that are undervalued while you're in the bull market. And if you're only counting on your job as a source of income, you wouldn't have that income. You wouldn't have an extra $3,000 or whatever it is to put into some altcoin when it crashes and is down 50%, and it shouldn't be down that low. But now you will if you're able to do what I just told you. And again, I'm talking as if I was speaking to myself, because this is something I would be thinking about doing. And again, this is crypto. Projects could also get hacked, right? Projects get hacked all the time. People do rug pulls all the time. Anything can happen, so things can also go to zero. And I am not a financial advisor. I'm a crypto enthusiast, right? So anything I say about crypto is going to be I believe in crypto. If I didn't believe in crypto, I wouldn't talk about it. I wouldn't spend my time and energy researching these things. I wouldn't. I'd just be like, I'll go do something else, right? But doing this because I believe in it. But you also have to understand that I'm not a financial advisor, right? I'm just putting this out there as entertainment. It's a form of entertainment. It's a form of intellectual stimulation. It's a different kind of entertainment, but it nonetheless is entertainment. But my Patreons would have seen this, and they would have gotten before. There's things I see things all the time. I see things 24/7, and I'm not going to make a video every time I have an idea, right? But if you were a Patreon, you would know about this before it started doing this, right? Started doing this. And this right here, this point right here is the difference between a 200x versus a 400x, or 200x versus a 500x, right? That's the difference. I saw this thing, it fell down so low, it went down to 125, and it's not showing in the chart. The 125 is not showing here, but I saw it. Oh, here it is. See, it's showing over here. It's 124 over here. I went to $1.24. That's mad. So this thing came from $351 to $124. Now, there's a difference between a project that's going to fail and a project that has a future, right? So if you see a project doing this, but they're building, they're developing, they're active on Twitter, and they've changed their Staking, you don't know about it. It's not on the website yet, right? Because they're going to start implementing this strategy in January. So it's not even on the website yet. So you're not going to know about this. The only people that are going to know about this are people that like on Twitter and Telegram and that are digging into these projects. And it takes a lot of time to do that. It takes a lot of time to, you really have to be focused on it, but I am. So again, my Patreons, you would have been up tremendously. You would have been up over 100%. I'll just leave it there, okay? So anything else we want to say about our friend over here, GAFI Duck? GAFI, let's go over the possibilities of return on these projects. I'm going to start quoting some numbers, and again, these numbers are going to sound like, are you sure? Okay, yeah, nobody's sure about anything. Like I told you, can't be sure. I can only make scientific guesses, right? But if you look at the all-time high return on the project, right? Let's click on this. This right here is ridiculous, right? This is a 752x from a project called Project Show. So I have to go in here and I research it, and I wanted, is this true? And yeah, it's true. It actually did that, right? And there's actually the GAFI project here. That's a 366x. And so that's this coin itself. I guess it launched itself on its platform. Other DAO Maker and Red Kite also launched GAFI, and you could have gotten those returns there. But remember, to participate on DAO Maker, and you need like a ton of money. You need like 50K to participate on that. So that's kind of out of the reach of the average person. But if you look at Red Kite is closer. Red Kite is, I think it's like 5K or something like that. 6K now. The price keeps going up on the Launchpads in general. Then there's Dream Quest. There's a 200Xs here. There's one that's close to 100X. It's MetaQuest. 90X here from MetaGods. 70X, 64X, 53X, 51, 49. So if I keep on quoting these, right, 49, 30, 20, 28, 20, again, you just need 128X to pay for this whole thing. Just one. And the rest of them, you're just building your bank. So if Bitcoin does some ridiculous stuff and just plummets to the epitome of despair, it doesn't matter to you. It does matter, but it doesn't matter. You're still in profit. You won't be at a loss like everyone else. You'll be in profit because you're using house money anyway to buy these projects. And you could be building your bank. You could be building your retirement fund. Look at this. Imagine the whole bull market. And this did not come out in the whole bull market. This came out like it was near November. It's near the end of the bull market. So imagine if you're getting it now before the bull market starts in altcoins, right? So if you get it before the bull market starts in altcoins, you're gonna have like a year of 30x, 20x, 28, and then we start getting ridiculous up here, 100x. You start getting these. That's ridiculous. And at a certain point, it means that you're printing money. It means that the money is free, right? So at that point, you start strategizing outside of crypto. What am I going to do with these funds? And if it was me, I'm not, I can't give financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. I can only talk about if it was me. I would be looking into real estate. I would be looking into rental properties. I'd be looking to diversify it. I wouldn't just keep it in crypto. I would keep some in crypto, but I wouldn't just keep it all in crypto, right? You want to diversify. In case stuff really hits the fan, you want to have stashes all over the place, But that's another story, though, right? But let's get back to GAFI and why I think that, this is a move. It's definitely a move, right? So there's other launch pads, man. I'm into Engine Starter, really big. I think Engine Starter is another one that you should look into. I have a list here of IDOs, IDO launch pads. Hold on, where's my list? Where's that list? I have a list of IDO launch pads that you should look into. That people should definitely look into. and and okay, so let's go over them. The ones that I'm looking at. DAO Maker. These are all good. The DAO Maker is a leader. It's ridiculously expensive and not really not really bang for buck. How much I'm investing in versus how much I get in allocation for projects is not there. Seedify is awesome. It's probably one of the best too. Number 2, really good Launchpad. But again, it just seems like to get a really good allocation, it's high. It just went up again, and that's another thing. So expect Seedify. If you wanted to get into like Seedify, I wouldn't take the risk of not pick. I would DCA now. I wouldn't put my whole majority of my funds in because this could come back down, right? Like I said, it's possible to crash, but I wouldn't be out of the market either, because what if Bitcoin takes off from here, right? What if we head to the 40s and we don't look back? Then you'll never see this price again. The only time you see this price is, bear market 2026, right? So, Singularity DAO, incredibly awesome project, worthy of investment. I think right now GameFi is it though, because PokerStarter, I just jumped over it. Again, PokerStarter is awesome. These are very good launchpads. It has a history in it. They have been giving returns. You'll see in a bull market that it's possible to get 100x's on these launchpads. Game Zone, of course. ChangeGPT, I was waiting for this thing to dip, man. It just wouldn't dip. It wouldn't dip. I wanted to, when I say dip, right, I mean like I wanted to go to 2.02, like that kind of a dip. But I don't know if I'll see that. It went to 4 and it bounced right back. It's up 28%. Pools Finance, another good one. I think the allocation versus investment in Pools Finance is not really the best versus its competition. BSC Pad, BSC Pad had great returns, has a strong history, and they'll continue to have a strong history. It's based on the success of Binance, and Binance is being attacked by the elites. But a lot of these altcoins are peer to Binance. So if they successfully attack Binance, the company might get damaged. But what will that mean for the peering on the crypto, right? The company could get damaged really badly, meaning that they do less business, but the cryptos are still in effect. Like the peerings, the BNB coin can still be okay. But what we're worried about is the BNB coin dropping below $200. If it drops below $200, it could be a massive crash in BNB. And if there's a crash in BNB below $200, all the peerings of the coins with BNB and the peering are going to crash 40 or so percent, right? So that's something to look out for. That's why I said there's a possibility of a crash happening in the future, but that depends on 2 things. That depends on number 1, and it's always number 1. If Bitcoin is strong. If Bitcoin can remain above 31K, then that doesn't happen, okay? And then you miss out on the DCA opportunity of a lifetime, right? If you don't take action, right? Or if, I'm just saying hypothetically, not financial advice, right? But if that does happen, then the peerings fall down 40%. So BNB coins, BNB paired coins that you're interested in, like Engine Starter, like GAFI, like dang near half the altcoins that are out there, it could be a 40% discount on the horizon, right? So I would get some now and DCA in if that does happen. That's what I would do. I can only speak for myself. All right, DQ8, another good one. But the one I'm looking at right now is GAFI, and I'm also looking at Engine Starter. I think bang for buck, money going in versus the allocations you get are the best. If you also look at circulating supply of Engine Starter versus maximum supply, this is ridiculous. Look at this. Market cap 14 million, fully diluted 19 million. This thing is going to rocket ship fly. It is going to. Its all-time high was 21 cents, but it wasn't the fully diluted supply. I think in a bull market, stuff could go crazy and irrational. It's irrational. So I'm looking at least I'm looking at a 50x, 50 to 100x on Engine Starter, and I'm really I'm really impressed with the quality of projects that they've been coming out with. They've been coming out with projects that rival the top. This is a tier 1 IDO platform. Then their projects have been performing phenomenally well in the bear market. So by bear market standards, they have been killing it. And secondly, the price suppression on this is down 94%. Basically, every dollar I get, I'm going into like Engine Starter and GAFI and different kind of coins like that. I could talk about it all day, but yeah, that's where you want to be, man. And Chain GPT, I would want to get this, but I mean, look at the price, man. I can't, because I know that it's more risky because this is newer. It came out this year, and I don't know what's going to happen. They're still releasing coins, right? The circulating supply that looks like is 20%, right? I don't know. New projects do better, but it's 20% circulating supply versus a coin that came out to the end of that didn't have a full bull market yet. Engine Starter didn't have a full bull market, and it's 71% out. So I would more tend to lean towards this. And Engine Starter has been coming out with CeDeFi level projects, all bear market. So I'm leaning towards Engine Starter, right? Then you have Avalanche. This could moon or it could fizzle out. Who knows what's going to happen here? Firestarter Flame, same thing. Campfi is good. Razorfi could moon or could flame. When I say moon for like Razorfi and Avalanche, when I say moon, I mean like these things could seriously like 500x, or they could just not do anything. There is no middle ground with these. Meta VPAD is good. It had a really strong. Look at this. 7 days is up 46%. This is definitely it's a good Launchpad. But this is extremely high risk, very high risk. The ones out here I just mentioned, these are extremely high risk. But yeah, the smart plays, GAFI, Engine Starter. All right, so I gave you a bit of alpha. I've been going on and on. As I said before, I could go on forever, but I'm looking at GAFI. I think that this is going to continue to rock. It's going to continue to go up and to the right. Even if so, I'm looking at getting. And I'm actually hoping for pullbacks. I'll take pullbacks. I don't normally stutter, but I thought about the profit and I started studying. I'm like, pullback. So it could come down, man. Look, it could go as low as 245. If Bitcoin has a pullback, this could go to 245, right? If it has a serious pullback, we're looking at 240. That's almost the same price. The serious pullback, 218, and then there was one more at, I believe it was 180. Yeah, 180. 180 is the big one. 180 is the big one, and when that would be Bitcoin at like 25K, something like that. But yeah, GAFI, all in. So that was pretty much it. The video was longer than I thought it would have been. GAFI for the win. Remember, if you were Patreon, you would have gotten this at 130. I'm looking at GAFI at least to $5 pretty soon. I'm thinking that this is going to go to $5 within like a month and a half. So that's almost a 2x. Easily. So that's it. Stay up, be good, and I'll see you guys at the top. All right, take care, peace.